Hi, and welcome to another show and tell. Today we will be looking at a Vostok Amphibia automatic dive watch from Russia and also from the old Soviet Union. First of all, I'm going to give you some stats on the watch. It's water resistant to 200 meters. It has an anti-shock balance, screw down winding head and crown. Case diameter without the crown is 40 millimeters. The case thickness is 12 millimeters. It has date-month calendar. What else can I say? Luminous hands and markings. And it has a 1-year warrant from the factory. And also, Vostok says that one only needs to get this serviced once every 10 years, which is pretty cool. So let's have a little talk about the factory Vostok. During the Second World War, when the Nazis attacked in Operation Barbarossa, they moved the factory from where it was up across the Ural Mountains to a small town called Kristopol and built it up there and continued making watches. So it's been, since the Second World War, before actually the Second World War, they've been making watches for the Russian military, both the army and the navy. There's also one called Vostok Komendansky, I think they say. Right. What happened was, as far as I remember, and I'm not a history teacher, so I don't really know, but I think what happened was that the Ministry of Defense sent an order to the watchmakers around Russia, Soviet Union, and said, we want a new dive watch, and it has to have these specifications. One of the specifications was that the design could not mimic the dive watches of the Western countries at the time. And so Vostok went to work. There was two designers, a man and a female. I don't quite remember their names. But they went ahead and created a whole new, different way of making a dive watch. Let me show you. Normally on a dive watch you have a screw back crown, a screw down back. Let's see if I can get this up. Right. Bear with me a sec. These NATO straps are always a bit irritating. Okay, so normally on a dive watch what happens is you take the back and you screw it on, and the more tightly you screw it, the more water resistant it is. And it has normally an O-ring, which gets pressed flat, and therefore you have the seal for the dive. Whereas on a Vostok, this back case doesn't actually turn. The only thing that turns is that little ring you can see here. So you turn that, and it loosens this. You take that out, and inside there is a big sort of rubber membrane. Now this membrane has a shape when it's up at the water surface. But when you dive down, the more the water pressure presses on the membrane, it flattens it out, and hence seals tightly with the case back, and therefore creating the water tightness. So in fact, the deeper you dive, the more water resistant it is. Now this has never been done before, and as far as I know, Vostok is the only watch that uses this, and it works. Another cool design feature on Vostok watches is that the crown, and this tricks a lot of people who buy this watch but don't know about it. When you unscrew this and pull it out a bit, it feels wobbly, as if it's not connected, and you can wiggle it around and turn it and there's no connection. And then some people say, oh my god, they've sent me a faulty watch. That's not the case. That is the way it's designed to be. You see, the only time that the crown engages with the automatic movement is when you've pulled it out totally, all the way out. You can see now, I just need to do it properly. There you go, now it's engaged. You push it in, it's free. It has no contact with the movement, and this is on purpose. What happens is, if you're down diving and you strike it on coral, or even fall over on ground and hit it on asphalt, a lot of watches, the crown breaks, and it doesn't break out here. It breaks all the way in there with the movement, where it's actually connected to the movement. But if this happens on a Vostok, it won't break. It'll just vibrate or something. So it's not in danger of breaking off at the tiniest point, which is the point stuck deep inside the automatic movement, and that's on purpose. So it's actually another form of a safety precaution, not breaking the watch. So it's only engaged when you pull it out. Another thing is to change the date. One turns the hour hand back past 10 and then past 1, and that should change it one time, back past 10, past 1, and this clicks a day every time you do it. It's a little bit laborious, but that's the way they've chosen to do it. Right. We've got all that aside. I was in the Danish army for 8 years, and back in the day, everything we would train to do was to combat East Bloc tanks and East Bloc jets, the T-55, the T-72, the MiGs, and all that. And then we would. That was the enemy, and now that no longer is the case. A part of me that remembers back in the day with the Soviet Union, the Iron Curtain, and all that, still finds it really cool to own a Russian army watch, and this is it. Well, I just find it very attractive, and it has a very sort of retro look to it. I don't know if I've mentioned, but the case here is a ministry case. Vostok make quite a few different case sizes and forms, and they're very beautiful. But this is the one I like best out of the ones present at the time. They do have some vintage Vostoks, and some special editions which I can't get my hands on. But the one that I readily can buy right now is this one, and out of all the case sizes, I enjoy the ministry case the best. It has a sort of a pincushion, sort of a turtle shape. People will know what I mean when I say that. Yeah. Anyway, one other thing. The reason they call it the Vostok Auto Amphibia Scooper Dude is obviously because of the little Scooper Dude right there, swimming away underwater. He's kind of cool too. He's sweet. Right. Anyway, I can't think of anything else to say other than I hope you enjoyed my ramblings about this watch, and well, thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.